live from Los Angeles.
Wemby trying to get free, takes it all the way and smashes it. And a timeout by Portland.
Oh, yeah, Janae, I'd say that Victor Wembanyama is back. A deep dive into Wemby's historic road playoff debut. We can't get ahead of ourselves, but the path to the conference finals is starting to look clear for San Antonio, in part because up 3-1 is Game 5 must win for Minnesota. Brian Windhorst thinks so. And Shams, he is here with an update on Anthony Edwards. And then we have the Raptors fighting, the Cavaliers cratering, Pistons misfiring, and are the New York Knicks rising? Takeaways from an insanely competitive East. NBA Day starts right now. Happy Monday, everyone. Our top story today is the health of Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards, who is expected to miss multiple weeks after hyperextending his left knee on this play. Yeah, he just came down incredibly hard. He also suffered a bone bruise. He was injured in Saturday night's win over the Nuggets. He did, though, avoid any ligament damage, but that was just a nasty landing there from Anthony Edwards. So with more, we're joined by our Shams Charania. Shams, we're hearing that this is going to be week to week for Anthony Edwards. What is the timeline, the expectation here?
Look, I'm told that the Timberwolves are expecting Anthony Edwards to be out a period of multiple weeks. He has a bone bruise and a hyperextension after MRIs revealed that over the weekend. And it was a nasty turn of that knee, obviously. But thankfully for Anthony Edwards and the Wolves, no ligament damage, no ACL, no MCL, no serious damage in that knee. And he's a quick healer. But at minimum, my understanding is this is a 2-week minimum injury. So the Wolves up 3-1 right now are going to go to Denver tonight to try to close out this series, and they're going to have to be without him for at least the remainder of this series and potentially to start the next series. So the start of Anthony Edwards' rehab will be a lot of rest, a lot of recovery to be able to get to the point where eventually he'll be able to do basketball activities, also lowering the swelling in that knee. And remember, Malika, on the other knee, the right knee, he's been dealing with runner's knee. So This is now both knees impacted over the course of this season.
Yeah, and Shams, for Ant, you mentioned the fast healer. Chris Finch mentioned that as well. But with things like this, you have to be incredibly careful. Thank you very much, Shams, for that insight. So now, this is a cluster, really, of injuries because in the same game, they lost their entire starting backcourt for the rest of the series. Yes, Anthony Edwards, but also Dante DiVincenzo. So Minnesota's the third team since stats were tracked to have both of their starting backcourt players from the same game begin to miss time here. Bringing it inside our Los Angeles studios alongside Brian Windhorst, Shanae Agumake, Amon Shumpert. You two are every time looking away at the replays of that Anthony Edwards injury here. I don't know how Minnesota fans here are supposed to feel, Brian.
Yes, it's a very awkward position. I'm going to call Shump into remembering this. The only thing I can think of is the finals in 2015. Where the Cavs played brilliantly in Game 1, but lose Kyrie Irving, already lost Kevin Love, and you think, oh my gosh, we're in great shape, but then your guys are injured. You know, obviously, if you're a Wolves fan, you're thrilled with this prospect of being ahead 3-1. You've seen some of your guys have some of their best ever games, but you've lost your starting backcourt. And let's be honest, bone bruises are extraordinarily inconsistent in their healing. Maybe he comes back in 2 weeks. Maybe he's out for the playoffs. This is a very unique situation. And if you're the Nuggets, even though you've played, frankly, horribly, and we've just seen Nikola Jokic have, in my opinion, in many, the 3 worst consecutive playoff games of his career, they probably should be on the ropes, but they are given life because of unfortunate injury elsewhere, and they need to recover immediately. And so it's a very unusual situation to see a 3-1 situation in the playoffs.
The good thing for them, Rudy Gobert, and now me and my brother just figured it out. I think I like Rudy Gobert now.
Good.
You know what?
Thank you.
Rudy Gobert, you got my vote.
He earned it. He put in the work.
The way you're playing defense on Nikola Jokic, we're going to keep saying he had 3 bad games or 3 games that don't look like the Joker. But it's because of what you're doing. You're playing your ass off. And not only are you playing your ass off on the defensive end, you're making sure you get in there on the offensive rebounds. You're making sure that when they throw that little pocket pass to you and you right there in the middle, he's not just getting the ball and looking around for help anymore. Now he's putting his head down a little bit. He threw a no-look and ran off, didn't even look at I said, what are we watching?
But
he took a 3-pointer.
Yeah, he did, and it hit the rim. And
Rudy Gobert, it's like Gobert.
Rebound off of that.
I don't know, but cool your jets a little bit.
I would say the question is, does this team have enough to close out the series? They have momentum, and I love the element of surprise that Ayo Dosunmu had, especially dropping 43 points, which was really cool.
Without a doubt. But the scouting report is coming.
The scout report, the roles are different, the schemes are going to be different, and, you know, they got 76 points off of the bench.
Right.
So some of those people are going to be in the starting lineup. How are you going to have the productivity? I understand now why Minnesota, their fans get their players tattooed on them. Because they're a team that plays hard, and they've taken on, it may not be Ant out there, but they've taken on his personality in the best ways possible on both ends of the floor. They still can win a game. They still can close out the series. It's going to be so much more difficult, despite how well Rudy has been.
I think it's got to be Game 5. If they do this, they need to get it over right here, right now.
Right.
That's on the road, though, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But that's the thing for Denver is you're looking at, you have 3 games left, and if it goes that far and 2 of them are on the road, Denver has a real opportunity here. All right, we have much more on that game coming up a little later in our show. But elsewhere in the Western Conference, Houston.
Yes.
Finally.
Delayed, not denied.
I mean, the
Very
tie
delayed.
may still happen, but they did avoid the sweep, right? They did avoid the sweep. So the Lakers, they trailed by 6 with 30 seconds remaining in Game 3, right? Until the
this was traumatic.
They got their
Houston.
defensive stops, and it led to shot tying this one, sending it to overtime. The Lakers went on to win this one in overtime, right? So here's Ime Udoka when they're trailing down 0-3.
Horrendous mistakes. I don't know if you want to say youth or, you know, scared of the moment or whatever the case. You know, grow up, and you're not that young anymore. You've been to the playoffs once, and we watched every situation just now.
Let's keep it real. Let's keep it honest in the age. He wasn't lying. They looked scared and afraid of the moment, but good thing that there was another opportunity.
Well, they certainly answered the call here. Later in the second, Houston leading 46-40. Amen Thompson drills a little midi. Rockets up 48-40.
Need more of those. Need many more of those.
Early in the third, Rockets up.
Ooh, talk about passes.
Reed Shepard, you predicted he would have a big game.
Yeah, I'm a little weak. I'm about a week late.
Yeah, a little late, but delayed, not denied, right?
Correct.
Shanae?
That pass right there denied, and then they're running the break. This is the best version of offense for Houston, getting stops and converting with a shorter court.
Şengün would go on to hit the free throw and the flex. The Rockets up 76-55 afterward. Next Rockets possession here. So watch DeAndre Ayton. Gets fouled hard on Şengün. Ayton's forearm making some contact with the side of Şengün's head. Flagrant 2 contact, actually, and he would be ejected. Although a lot of folks said
that's all.
They didn't think that it should be
Piss poor.
the case. The call?
Did you see that catch, though?
Flagrant 2, I don't even care if it's by definition.
Well,
That's
Kevin
crazy.
Durant is enjoying this win. Houston
let us have this win, man.
115-96. Let's take a listen to LeBron James.
Obviously, we know coming into the series, we have to protect the ball versus them, not have too many pick sixes, which we did all night. And I mean, it started with me, obviously. Defense wasn't our problem tonight. It was our offense. Defense wasn't our problem. We turned the ball, 23 times for 30 points? Another turnover right there. So,
24.
Yeah, 24.
24 turnovers, and by the way, in 3 of the games in the series, they've had at least 20. So it's been an issue for them. The Rockets were just able to capitalize, in part because they're the aggressor. And look, it really started with that defensive pressure. Houston had 17 steals in this game, and look where they started that pressure, right? 47 feet away from the basket. That's their second highest for any game this season, according to Genius IQ. Also, all 5 starters, they scored 15-plus first. It's the first time that's happened since 1997 for anyone who's keeping score there.
Wow.
But when you're looking at adjustments for Houston, what did they do here, Shanae, that allowed this outcome?
They finally played with some pride because you don't want to get swept, especially knowing that Kevin Durant was not available. You heard me? That's defense. You know, defense, they finally found their defense. That's what they've needed. And I do believe that when you think about them scoring in transition, they were 11 for 13 in transition. They forced, as you mentioned, 24 turnovers. When they play with a shorter court, that's their best version of offense, meaning when they get steals, when they get stops. Amen Thompson said after the game, they dove on the floor for loose balls. That's their edge, and that's what helps galvanize everything else moving forward. I also think that an important thing to note is that Kevin Durant not being on the floor, they understood that they had to play team basketball on both ends. Kevin Durant has been kind of like a free safety for them defensively. That he can clean some things up. But offensively, this is a team that now didn't hesitate. They were sort of getting caught and lost in the sauce with KD getting doubled and not knowing what to do. With him out of the equation, it felt like they understood they had to rely on each other and full team basketball.
Well, they've been pressing higher all series, but what helps when you're pressing is if you're making shots. It becomes much more difficult if you're not making the shots that they were last night.
But I think that's the growing confidence that she's touching on, where you're saying because he's not there, now there's not as much pressure to be efficient. There's not as much squeezing the trigger. It's everybody swinging it around. Everything's free flow. You kind of know how your teammates play. You want to dish it off to your homie now. The direct barometer of that for me was looking at Reed Shepherd and saying, man, the first couple of games, everybody was thinking you scared. It looked clear out there, like you don't want the ball. They're leaving you right now. The only available thing for Reed Shepherd to do in a lot of these games has been put your head down, go all the way to the basket and finish, or shoot that three and make it. But anytime he shot it, it was short. It looked like indecisiveness. Any turnover came, indecisiveness. And as soon as he saw the aggression coming out of him, I'm like, okay, now the Lakers have a little problem because
4 threes.
You know what I'm saying?
Shepherd,
Once you got everybody rolling with some confidence, now you got a problem because before you had them on the ropes feeling like there's no hope without
But
KD.
you're both talking about the time without Kevin Durant, right? Is that time going to, we're looking at game 5. Will that
looking
continue?
forward in this series, Kevin Durant is dealing with a bone bruise. It's not just a sprained ankle. A sprained ankle is ligament injury. A bone bruise obviously is a bone injury. It's inconsistent. The swelling has gotten out. He's been going treatment, like 10 hours a day. He got the swelling out, but the bone bruise is unpredictable. So it is 2 days between now. They get Monday and Tuesday off. He's not been ruled out for the series, but obviously this bone bruise. The other thing I'll say is Austin Reeves has been questionable the last 2 games.
Do you think that's gamesmanship, or do you think that's...
Well, I do think the Lakers didn't put their all 100% into yesterday. I think they will put their all to try to get it on Wednesday to not have to go back to Houston.
Game 5, it's Wednesday on ESPN. Coming up here on NBA Today, though, Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs just did something that's never been done before in NBA playoff history. We're going to tell you what that is and what it means for their championship. Yeah, we're going to start saying it. Their championship quest here. And Karl Anthony Towns, how about the big man in New York? He stepped up in a big way to even their series with the Hawks. Iman Shumpert, he's going to tell us what the Knicks have found as they head back to New York.
What he be looking for?
The Detroit Pistons, they're running out of room for error. What has to change tonight? Janae has updates.
My game, first of all, it's evolving.
It's like the 2K creative cheat code type vibe.
Everybody's been a unicorn over the last few years, but he's more like an alien.
My body is still trying to mature,
We have never seen something like that before.
I would say I've always tried to use lots of skills.
He's a 7'5" Kevin Durant.
Knocked away by Wembanyama.
Shot blocking. Why do I trust it the most? Because it's never let me down.
Are you entertained? A figment of our basketball imaginations.
It's an instinct that I've always had, and I'm super confident in my ability.
You hear the music? That's because Wemby was out of this world in his first career road playoff game. So let's all head to the Pacific Northwest, grab our flannels, our iced coffees, and get on up there. So the first half, it was really all about the Trailblazers.
The rim
here,
is.
Brian.
I'm still just, this music is driving me wild.
Driving you wild. Denny Avdia kicks it to Donovan Clingan. Get yourself a big man that can shoot the three. So San Antonio, they trailed by 17 at half. That's their largest halftime deficit since 2017. But here's the thing. When Victor and company are on the other side, you cannot settle. And maybe part of this is what we saw from Victor Wembanyama in the opening 24 minutes. He settled a lot for those perimeter jumpers. He was 4 of 12 from the field with an average field goal attempt distance of 15 feet. And Portland was keeping Wemby out of the paint. That was a big part of the first half. But then what had happened was he started to attack.
They were double teaming him there. They did everything right, and then he got the ball.
Closing seconds of the third, Dylan Harper drives, misses, but who's there? Victor Wembanyama for the putback.
Real talk, they've been really challenged in these last 2 games, and they've answered the call on the road.
They answered
get
the
credit
call
for that.
with an exclamation mark then. So, okay, look at the average shot distance there. They're connecting from 2 feet away from the basket. So under 8 to play, the Spurs up 7 now. De'Aaron Fox.
Call on your vet to hold you down.
Hits a big wing 3 there.
He put 3 holes in his back of your bowling ball.
2 minutes left. The Spurs up 12. Little kerfuffle here.
We've been seeing a couple kerfuffles, sis.
Abdia takes exception. I like it because I get to say kerfuffle.
Little kerfuff?
I think I saw what he said.
The lip readers are going to let us know. I caught up with Victor after the game. That was interesting. He said he's been really unhappy with other parties, but a conversation for another time, because the Spurs, they've shown that no matter how far down they get, a comeback, it's possible. Because San Antonio, they're the first team in NBA history to trail by 15 or more at half and then go on to win that game by 15 or more points. So, Chiney, what game changer led the way in your eyes?
Oh, we did it earlier. Defense of Victor Wembanyama. Anytime Victor Wembanyama steps on the floor, it's Victor's world, it's Wemby's world, and we're just living in it. On 22 defensive possessions, half of them ended either in a block or a steal or a rebound by Victor Wembanyama. Let's break them down because he is the ultimate NBA Defensive Player of the Year and also cheat code. He could be off of his players, and all he does is ball hawk the ball. He's the excellent help side defender. He can rotate. We know he's mobile. He'll be at the free throw line, but in a blink of an eye, he'll deter. That's an all hell nah. I'm not going to shoot that there. That's a block. When you shoot, it's completely altered. Again, in help side defense, he can guard multiple players at once, and the one thing I'm impressed of is his tagging on both sides of the lanes. Here, he actually goes with the shooter and the ball handler in the paint and then is able to recover to his own defender to get a block again. Wemby returned from concussion, and it was wild because in his first playoff road debut, he made history. 25-5, the first ever player with these types of numbers in a road playoff game. Wemby's world, y'all, and we are straight up just living in it.
But he also didn't do it by himself today, and he was talking about this afterwards, how he is maybe the head of the snake, but when you have teammates like Stephon Castle, like De'Aaron Fox, that are able to help carry the scoring load in particular, and the defense that Stephon Castle displayed was really remarkable, Brian.
Yeah, I thought it was a near miss yesterday. Castle got his hand hit, and he pulled his hand out, and I thought he might have had an injury.
He went to the back and got x-rays.
That was very lucky that they avoided something there. He came back in, played with a vengeance down the stretch. Really, this Spurs team is two different monsters. One, it's Wembanyama. Two, it's the three-headed monster of their perimeter guards and what they can do defensively and turn it into offense. The basis for their championship run is those two working together.
Yeah, working together is the perfect word for it. It's just when it's on you, I think that people don't notice the pressure that they deal with against them. And then when Wemby comes back, the way it goes up a notch. Like, we see it all the time where they're fighting over screens, they're trying to get in your handle, and that's all well and good. But the amount of steals that they'll try for once they see him back there is ridiculous. Right. It's like the gambling starts. They in the slot machines. They at the blackjack table. They gambling for. They want to get out in the pass and they want to dunk now. They want to throw oops. Everybody swaggy out. It's swaggy peas well. Yeah, everybody want to get in on it. But the moment he's back there, it creates an aggressive mindset, and that's what I think is so fascinating when they have to look at OKC, when they finally do have to look at OKC, is that OKC usually does that to people, especially with their second unit. But
you're ready to already go there. You're ready to already say.
I got to see it.
You're already willing to go to the Oklahoma City series.
I low-key need to figure out my ticket situation.
But what's interesting is that the biggest question for the Spurs, especially given the not so sure status of Victor Wembanyama, we're happy that he played, was would this team have enough experience to get through these moments, these last two games? And I want to credit De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox showed up big and led in those moments. Talking about the second half when Wemby was in and out, he just captained this squad, a squad that is young with Castle and Vassell. And so I like what De'Aaron Fox did, but more importantly, his approach to the game, because this is a guy that can score. We saw that in Sacramento, but they had 26 assists on the game. So it's a different type of basketball that they're playing where they can mold to Victor's out, I can lead as a backcourt. Victor's in, we can get him to the paint. They're adjusting in real time, and that's what the playoffs demand. And I might be right there with you. I might have to call, Disney Travel and say, hey.
I'm not going to remind you guys that we have the East, and so you're going to have to work on the Eastern Conference Series. But yeah, absolutely. Y'all work on your travel.
It don't matter why we're there.
All right. Well, we do have a couple of critical Game 5s tomorrow night on ESPN, my friends. First, we have Jason Tatum and the Celtics hosting the 76ers, and then the Trailblazers visit Wemby and the Spurs. Our coverage begins with Kenny, Shaq, Charles, Ernie, and who knows, maybe they'll have another little dance party.
Yeah, I was going to say the dance squad.
Malika Andrews, thank you very much, and great concentration given what's going on behind.
I'm joining the party now, Ernie. I'm going to join the party now.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Got it, girl. Go, girl.
and you know what else? What else is really?
Tell them they doing that dance routine wrong back there.
Everyone on Inside the NBA says y'all are rocking right now, and they're ready for a dance battle. They're ready to take you on, Chuck. It's you versus them. What was Chuck's dance? He's
I don't know
what that is.
This one with a little bit of like a.
I don't know.
He was getting
dip on the
Hey, coming up on NBA Today, hey, maybe we need to get the dance party going. Did the Knicks figure out something on the road against the Hawks?
You're watching NBA Today.
Let's go coast to coast. Eastern Conference Playoff Edition. We're going to start with the New York Knicks. They had their backs against the wall on Saturday.
Understatement.
Guess who answered the call? Karl Anthony Towns. He finished with 20, 10, and 10. That was his first career playoff triple-double, and the Knicks beat the Hawks 114-98. So that series all evened up, 2 games apiece. Shep, what did New York show you?
Man, they just showed me that finally, I think finally, they can restore a little order in this series. I picked the Knicks in 6. They starting to look like it, even though Cat was going off, and I need that out of Cat again. OG, you've been playing great, and I ain't going to leave you out of this.
Well, let's head to Philadelphia, where this game could have been an email. The Celtics three-point shooting, it spoiled Joel Embiid's return.
God.
Jason Tatum, Peyton Pritchard, by the way, led the way. Boston shot 24 of 53 on three-pointers, their most made threes in franchise history in a game. One short of the NBA postseason record. So, Brian, what impressed you the most?
Well, they replied all 24 times, 24 threes in this game.
Wow.
You're not beating the Boston Celtics. They hit 24 threes. And Derek White still has really not gotten his offensive going. Tatum with 11 assists in this game, 11 assists. Boston is looking like the team to beat in the Eastern Conference.
That should be scary for the rest of the league.
Here we go.
Let's go to Toronto.
Here we go.
Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett. They've been showing up as the Raptors tied up this series. It was a party in the 6. All right, 10.5 to play. The Cavs down 1.
Like
James
what?
Harden.
Sorry.
Careless pass there today.
How are you going to do an entry pass from half court to the wing off the bounce? That's like a no-no that you learn in junior high. But I love Harden, but still, we got to keep it real.
James Harden for 3. This one's good. So the Cavaliers take the lead off of that one. So now Toronto's down by 5. The Raptors on the offensive board. Off the Barrett miss here. Brandon Ingram steps in. Nails the 3. He struggled from the field in this series, but he needed that one, to your point here. All right, under a minute left. The Cleveland Cavaliers up 1. Keep an eye on Jamal Shead.
Donnie.
Right?
Come on, Donnie.
Mitchell's attempting to bring the ball up.
Headsy play.
So smart.
8 count.
Knocks the ball free and forces an 8-second violation there. Fired up after the play. And then Scotty Barnes drives. Okay, can't quite get that one to go, but he's fouled. Barnes would make both free throws, gives Toronto the lead. Mitchell pump fakes. It kind of looks like he's going for the foul on that
Great
shot.
Defense by Colin Murray-Boyles.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Game.
Colin Murray-Boyles had a couple of moments.
He's having a great series.
He's had a couple of moments this series. So the Raptors, they made history with, we're going to call it their unique offensive approach in Game 4. Because Toronto made just 32% of their shots. That's the lowest by any
Look at this
team.
graph.
Off for the watch.
Yeah, that's the lowest by any team to win a playoff game since tracking percentages began in the 50s.
Beyond all that, it's an 8-point Cavs lead with 4 minutes to go.
Without a doubt.
I don't care how many shots everybody made or how many turnovers or whatever. Yeah. It's 4 minutes to go. The Cavs are in control, and they botched the game. I know Toronto came back and made some
with
plays.
A veteran backcourt.
Not acceptable. And so now what you've got is, now you've brought in the unknown. The unknown is, you know that James Harden and Donovan Mitchell can deliver great games. Mm-hmm. But we also know that they can drop bombs in playoff series. It's just happened. James Harden is in his 17th playoff run. 17 times he's made the playoffs. Guys, he has some beautiful playoff games. He has some duds. Donovan Mitchell has 11 playoff games in his career where he has scored 38 or more points. And he's had 14 now where he shot 33% or less. And so what the Cavs have done here by going up to Toronto and having a very substandard performance by these two players, Harden had 15 turnovers in games 3 and 4. And by the way, I haven't even talked about Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley got totally outplayed by Scotty Barnes in this series.
Evan Mobley, I mean, their front court got out. They scored 11 points.
Well, they don't. That's a direct reflection of James Harden.
Completely agree. Okay.
They cannot. The reason that their production value has gone up so much is because adding James Harden. It has settled them down. It has made them understand this is where I need to be. Even if I don't know that's where I need to be. Wow, here goes the ball. Let me get a dunk. Having that every game and then having that stripped from you because not only are you not getting an assist on this play or an attempt on this play, you're getting a damn turnover on the sideline. Nobody back for defense but James Harden. Like, you in trouble. So I don't want to say that they got completely outplayed as much as the production has to trickle down from James Harden, Donovan Mitchell. Now they can eat.
I would argue that they were not necessarily outplayed, but they were out-physicaled because the Raptors are physical
on
and
the
they
other
play
end, that's
hard.
on them.
Yeah, but you're right. There's a chain reaction between James Harden having 7 turnovers and those two guys combining for 11 points. Right. Because a lot of their opportunities are either in the short roll or just finishing, especially for Jared Allen at the rim.
Hello.
And so overall, the Cleveland Cavaliers, you play with fire. We've seen it. You can get burned. We don't know what we do know what James Harden does later in the playoffs. Like, sometimes he fizzles out. And the whole point of coming to Cleveland was so that he did not have to be the guy taking on all that pressure. Right. But we're still seeing that he is the hub for the others. Absolutely. And so there has to be accountability for his play to create for the other two.
Let's just hold a quick candle here for the Toronto Raptors, though, because it was... Thank you. It was not just the Cavaliers being outplayed. It's what Toronto did to them, Shanae.
Yeah, completely. I mean, what I like about Toronto is, one, you see how the impact of playing at home and being more comfortable helps your shooting. They just looked like they bought themselves time, especially defensively, so that they got better looks, so they felt more comfortable knocking down shots.
Also, Darko Rajakovic, in his first ever playoff series coaching, the maneuvers that he made, bringing Scotty Barnes out to play defense on the perimeter and leaving Evan Mobley in the back, that has been a great move so far for him.
And now all of a sudden we have a series, and it is not a short one. And elsewhere in the East, the 8th-seeded Magic, they have a 2-1 lead over the Pistons after ending Game 3 on a 9-0 run. You talk about physicality, Shanae. Yeah. I'm surprised to see the Magic they're beating the Pistons at their own game.
And you guys know, I'm a post player. I'm very post-centric. It's all about the rim and Jalen Duren and his lack of production. To me, that's been probably one of the most fascinating parts of this. The fact that they have an all-star that they have not been able to unlock. Credit to the Magic, because I said the Orlando Magic...
And to Wendell Carter.
Oh, yes, absolutely, Wendell Carter right there. Because they took a page out of the Pistons playbook. They played physical. They played aggressive. And it's kind of wild because now all the pieces are coming together. Desmond Bane shooting the ball well. Like Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner. This is what they imagined, having guys that are both 6'8", 6'9", multiple skills. It seems like the pieces are coming together, whereas the Pistons have been a one-trick pony, relying so much on Cade to get those other looks. Duren has to take it personal, and it's hard. When you're in your first playoff series, you know what it's like. It feels like, it's a whole different level of basketball. So typically there's an adjustment, but I would say that he's not shooting the ball enough to even have a big enough impact on the game.
And I think that some of that, just attack the glass. More rebounds. The more and more rebounds you get, the more and more you feel like you're a part of the game. I think that right now it's been hard for him to get those rebounds, but I'm also looking at why, when these rebounds are going up, there's a lot of 50-50 balls that are going out. And you're watching Jalen Duren, who during the season you never saw it, but now we're seeing his legs are locked completely. They're not bent down. He's not rushing around. You're not pushing people in the back and bullying them under the rim.
I mean, they're slowing down Cade Cunningham as well.
Without a doubt.
So does that then feed into what we're seeing with the rest of the team?
It does, but for Jalen Duren, it cannot. That's what she means by having an all-star forward or all-star center. You want to be big time? That cannot happen. You have to have it in the playoffs, especially if it's going to be in the rebounding category. Right. You need to be able to push people under that rim and get done what you want to get done.
Control your destiny as a post player. We've seen Karl-Anthony Towns, at least we've seen an adjustment where he got way more touches. Like, those are the types of adjustments that the Detroit Pistons make for their all-star.
Absolutely. All right, well, the Eastern Conference all of a sudden has gotten very interesting, and the series are going to be extending. But we're
today.
Well, it was a day that ends in Y, so that means we got to see another Shai masterclass in Game 3 against the Suns. He scored a playoff career high in this one, though, 42 points. He shot 15 of 18 from the field. He became the 5th player with at least 40 points on 80% field goal percentage in playoff history. So, for those keeping track, in total, that means SGA has scored or assisted on 62 of the Thunder's 121 points in their Game 3 win. So, what does he say? My whole life is consistent. And so is his scoring. SGA has played 105 minutes against the Suns. 105 minutes, and he has 104 points, guys. So after the game, that's a real stat. Dylan Brooks, he was subtle. He was cool. This was his response to SGA's 42-point explosion.
He's efficient, and I got him game 4.
Love that Dylan Brooks just sits there and watches all the film in the world. That is nothing more than Michael Jordan straight out his page.
I got him game 4. We're going to replay that how many times? I know I got it game 4. I got it game 4. Well, they got to because their season's on the line, right? The Thunder, they're looking to sweep the first round for the 3rd straight year.
On the line?
How are you describing, Brian, what you're seeing from SGA? Because a lot of us are running out of words.
I want to say,
maybe just puts on the glasses.
I like that Dylan Brooks line, but maybe my favorite line of the year was when SGA said, "I have all the answers to the test. I just have to wait for the questions."
I still don't really know what it means.
What? I know what it gets.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative. It gets the people going.
Whatever they show him, he knows how to solve it. He's really reduced it to a math problem, and it's not so scientific. There's some art in it because he's worked so hard on his game. He knows everywhere he needs to go on the floor. He knows what he's allowed to do. I know that it irritates people with the officiating, but he knows what he is allowed to get away with. And he does it.
Yeah.
He knows where to go on the floor against certain teams. He knows where teams want to force him to go. He just goes there. He's done the work. He knows he can hit certain shots. He's made it mathematical. That sometimes makes it less enjoyable, but it doesn't make it less great.
All right, so then if this is here, this is the game plan. Can you just tell me, how do you stop SGA? How do you slow him down?
Again, I keep telling people this: if you don't have him on the right side of the floor or force him to set his attack with his right hand, you're dead in the water anyway. When he does do that, if you let him get a step, what people have to do is they have to realize when guarding SGA, you can't open your hips up and guide him to where he just said he wanted to go. You have to literally cut it off. So if your foot was back this way, time to bring it up and be even Steven and start using your dig hand to keep him from the discouraging for that crossover, because that crossover is coming. Force him to have to spin. If he has to spin, then you have time.
See, these are the questions. These are the questions. What he's saying is that he has the answer.
Right.
He does.
Shump is giving the question.
Hey, but true though, that's the thing about him that makes him good. That's why people keep asking me, who is the MVP? And I keep saying it's him, because these are all the things that you have to do. But this is just me in a suit being able to say, hey, I watch hours and hours and hours of tape. That's all I ever do. So it's like when I watch it, it's like he can have the answer to the test all he wants. That's the only thing they don't make him do. People open their hips right up and say, go ahead. And you start playing like that, you're playing out of the stance.
He's just going to shove you off.
But that's my point.
That's going to shove you off.
That's what I'm saying. If he's going right, then that's when we get Heisman
What he's saying is you have
not chicken wing. But I told you, Popeyes, KFC, Heisman, Reggie Bush.
Look,
you see what I'm saying?
But look, the issue, though, is when you are trying to dictate, he understands how you have done something now. Now he can manipulate your aggression towards
Manipulate it after you punch me in the mouth. You might got to sit out a game.
But he won't. He won't. Because
We never know.
He's too smooth, cool, calm, collected. The fact of the matter is, who has stopped him this year? Nobody has stopped him. He was 15 for 18 from the floor. He missed only 3 shots. He got double teamed. He still, I believe, shot near perfect from the double team. He knocked down a 3.
Come on.
You're going to say, take me right? Look at his percentages and look at the makes from both right and left. Again, he has all the answers for the test. He's just waiting to read the defense, read what you're given. This is someone that is putting on a masterclass offensively. It may not be sexy. It may not be dunks. It may not be step-back threes. But this man cannot be guarded currently in the NBA.
Give me some.
You can't.
Chicken wing?
You just got to do, you got to just apply. This is the answer. You got to apply prayer defense and just pray he misses.
Well, he's already the clutch player of the year, and he may also be the MVP. We're waiting to hear those results here that are coming up in a couple of weeks. But today, we will know who the Rookie of the Year is. And this has been a highly contested race. The finalists are VJ Edgecombe, Cooper Flagg, and, of course, Con Knipple. And, again, this has been one of the biggest talking points in terms of who is an award winner of any of the awards that we've seen. So Cooper and Con, they've kind of flipped back and forth. let's litigate here, Chiney, Shump, Brian, on going point by point where each of these guys have the edge. So, Chiney, let's break it down.
Yeah, between overall production, impact on winning, Shump and I have made picks. So, Shump, who do you say had better year when it comes to overall production?
Overall, I think Coop got it. Two-door Coop.
So I agree with you there, all right? So Coop might have the edge. We're going to see the award later. But impact on winning, who do you have as the greater impact?
The con man, so involved, shooting the ball well from three and helping his team over and over.
I agree with you here. So it's interesting. It depends on what you value, overall production or the impact on winning. Who is your choice, Shump?
Now, do you agree with me here? I'm still going with two-door Coop.
Okay, so you are going with Coop.
Oh, you hate me.
You know what my take is? My take is that this is going to be the 4th time in NBA history that we have co-rookies of the year. I need them both to share it.
Wow.
It's too hard to slice and dice.
Who's got the better chicken wing and the better... Cooper Flag.
You voted for Cooper Flag?
To be honest, guys, I would have picked Cooper, but I do think Cole would be awesome as well.
You just pick
I'm making the point
guys,
about
we're going to discuss Denver and Minnesota after this. Anthony Slater is going to join us with an update on Aaron Gordon. Chicken wing.
Welcome back to NBA Today.
All right, it's time for a little heat check. It's brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Chiney, take it away.
Let's go. All right, we got some bounce-back performances. I've got Cade Cunningham with 10-plus assists because the bigs need to eat, especially Jalen Duren. You see that connection right there? Expect more of that.
Big dog got to eat.
Cunningham. Also, they're facing the top dog in the Western Conference in NBA. Jalen Green has to step up to take pressure off of guys like his teammate Devin Booker. We've seen good games between those two guys. And then last but not least, give me Julius Randle. No Ant, no Dante DiVincenzo. The guy's a playmaker and also the finisher you see right there. So him having 20-plus points is what I'm betting on.
Okay, quick parlay all three of these, and you will get a plus 383 payout if you parlay all three of those props. $10 bet returns $48.30 on DraftKings Sportsbook. All customers can get a profit boost every day of the NBA playoffs. Download the app, use the promo code SCREEN when you sign up. So Chiney was looking at tonight's games, and tonight Denver is attempting to extend their season. Now remember, teams up 3-1 in a best-of-7 series, they do go on to win 96% of the time. But the last time a team overcame a 3-1 deficit, who was it? It was the Denver Nuggets, and they did it twice back in the 2020 bubble. As we say hello to our Anthony Slater, who is covering this series for us. All right, Slater, let's run through a couple of injury updates here. We know no Dante DiVincenzo. We know no Anthony Edwards here for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So what is this team's mindset coming into the game?
You know, they're pretty upbeat. I think it's fair to believe that their title hopes went out the window the other night with those injuries, but there's a lot to be gained in the short term. Organizationally, these are two franchises that don't necessarily love each other. So if the Wolves can get one out of the next three, that's franchise bragging rights. And then individually, Rudy Gobert has a chance to cap off, I think, maybe the best defensive series of his career with what he's doing to Jokic. Yeah. Jaden McDaniels could cap off maybe the best trash-talking series in recent NBA history. And then Ayo Dosunmu's, he's making $7.5 million this year. He's an unrestricted free agent. You saw what he did the other night, 43 points. He can really rocket his stock going into the summer if he can just help finish off these Nuggets.
Yeah, Ayo Dosunmu is going to be huge in making up for the backcourt players that you're missing, and I would imagine that Mike Conley gets the start, but we will see. On the Nuggets side of all of this, Aaron Gordon, he only played in 23 minutes in Game 4, but it looked like that calf was bothering him a bit. What can you tell us about his status for tonight's game?
Officially questionable, and you don't question his toughness at all. I mean, he played through a grade 2 hamstring strain in their, Game 7 last year. You saw it the other night. I mean, this is clearly a calf injury that would have him out probably multiple weeks during the regular season. He tried to gut through it. He played 23 minutes, but they just sat him down the stretch. David Adelman said it was unfair. He was laboring out there. So I would say questionable, leaning towards doubtful, because I think the organization's looking at knowing they need to, basically be cautious for Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, but if you know Aaron Gordon, you know that that's a player that you basically have to put in a straitjacket to keep him from playing in a playoff game. Look no farther than Game 7 of last year against these Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Slater, thank you very much for that insight. All right, this is going to be a game, Shump. When you are looking at the player that is most important for the Timberwolves to close this out, we'll get to Denver side in a second. The Timberwolves, who are you looking at?
I'm looking at Ayo. First off, shout out to the Chicago guys. But I think that I need him to stay within his role. It can low-key be bait to say, hey, I had a great game. It's my show. Now I got to run it up. I have to do it again. I have to replicate that game. I need to be plus 30. No, you don't. You got to come out here and play the same way that they know you could play. That's the reason you were a star the other night, is because you were just playing your role. It's just more shots became more available, and you kept it efficient the whole night. That's all he got to do.
We saw the trend, though. He had a 25-point game in the series. He's been trending toward bigger and bigger performances.
Exactly.
My eye is on the guy that you were hyping. You finally made your
Go
Bears.
Bears.
Rudy Gobert. His defensive work, Wendy, you said earlier that this might be the worst three-game playoff stretch of Jokic's career. That's because that man right there is defending in single coverage, holding them, I think it was game 3 or so, to 34% as a team, but under 30% as a shooter. We have rarely seen Nikola Jokic miss so many around the rim, or just not being able to get so many clean looks. It is a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year taking on a 3-time MVP.
Come on.
And right now, the Defensive Player of the Year is winning the battle.
Come on.
Yeah, he is shooting under 40% in this series. He's shot over 50% in his career in the playoffs. He's got to make some shots. Also, we're looking at those interior plays. He's gotten so frustrated at Gobert. He's hoisting threes, and he can't make any. Ooh. So he is really, this is so basic for the Nuggets. They got to score. They're not good enough defensively to survive a bad offensive night.
McDaniels has told us that.
And stay out of kerfuffles.
Jaden McDaniels has become the villain that I'm not sure that I saw coming.
I don't mind it, though.
He didn't back down, though, when Jokic can't, you know?
Yeah, he got his
would
in.
Would you have dunked the ball if Mike Conley hit?
Ooh, I'd have dunked that thing.
Enjoy tonight's games, friends. We'll see you tomorrow.